All right, now SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga is at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry and joins us live from Pretoria to give us the very latest. Good afternoon, Canny. The pace today is quite swift. We're already on the third witness of the day. Just take us through what the Commission has heard thus far in the takedown of Katiso Molefe.
Indeed, good afternoon to you, Mfundo, and to the viewers at home. Essentially what you're seeing before the Commission through these various witnesses that are coming through is that the Commission is trying to get to the bottom of the Hawks' appearance at the Operation Takedown of Katiso Molefe. We know that it was an operation of that counterintelligence with the support of the PKTT, but we're hearing through evidence that has come through the Commission that the Hawks descended on that operation shortly after counterintelligence had started their work. We're hearing from intelligence themselves that this was a form of, I guess, alleged interference to derail the investigation, or at least interfere in what was going to be the arrest of Katiso Molefe, because they had a J50 warrant with them. So the intention was to go there to arrest that individual. But we're hearing from the Hawks officials that their defense is that they were doing a verification request after learning that there were bogus cops allegedly using the name of the Hawks and its head at the time, that is General Libya, to access that particular home. The difficulty with this defense is that Hawks officials have come before this commission and they are contradicting each other left, right and center about the facts and circumstances of the events of the 6th of December 2024. We're seeing that we are hearing evidence that seems to paint it as an innocent verification request, but the circumstances raise further question from the Commission's bench, because we know that when they went over to that operation or got that particular address to head over to the Sandhurst residence, it's now become clear that the information was brought to them that it was a legitimate operation being done by counterintelligence. They even knew who the commander was. So it means that prior to arriving, they knew that it was a legitimate operation. So they went beyond that scope by proceeding and going ahead to that residence, going there in their numbers, staying for at least an hour at the operation and going outside of what the initial request was. Now, what becomes crucial about the evidence today is that it contradicts a lot of what has been said before the Commission about this defense, that it actually was a verification request, and it raises several questions as to what exactly the Hawks were trying to do when they descended on that particular property. We're hearing evidence starting off from Chief George, that is the official from traffic that was roped in, and because he had no officers on the ground, he explains that he had to use a helicopter to surveil the area of the home of Katiso Molefe, and I think he was up there in the air for about 5 minutes. Why his evidence is crucial is because we heard from Captain Kruger when he was probed on this issue of, here are messages in your WhatsApp group stating that this is a legitimate operation. Why didn't you call it off? Particularly, there's a message from Chief George in that WhatsApp group where he says that it is a legitimate operation that is taking place. Now, when he was asked about that particular message by Chief George, Captain Kruger told the Commission that in fact he doesn't know where Chief George got that information about the operation being legitimate, but Chief George has just gotten on the stand right now and says that he was on the phone with Captain Kruger and that is how he learned that it was a legitimate operation. This means that Captain Kruger knew all along that it was legitimate and still proceeded to that particular operation. We're also hearing about a quote-unquote Twitter that went to one of the officials, I think that was Warrant Officer Nkosi, who was one of the Hawks officials that was sent there all the way from Springs. He's raised concerns as well about how they were diverted from a legitimate operation that was going to go to the northwest, and they're saying that it was something that was life-threatening and they were heading on their way to give effect to that operation. And they were now being diverted for something he describes as insignificant and something that could have been done by the local police station. It is through the warrant officer where we're getting an extent as to, how this particular operation or verification request didn't make sense to the officers on the ground. But no one can explain before the Commission why they didn't challenge or why they proceeded with an instruction that really could have been done by the local Sandton police station. Now, Now, what we're hearing now from the Commission is that, at least from the top, the message came from General Libya to the General Mboto, who would have given the instruction that they must go and verify. We'll now hear from him as to what the rationale behind the Hawks being there for at least an hour and proceeding beyond the scope of the request was. All that and more at 2 p.m.
Now, Canny, just before I let you go, I want to take you back to the contradictions that we've heard thus far. It seems it's prompted the Commission chair to then go on to order that Brigadier Magwena return to at least clarify his role insofar as the WhatsApp communication was concerned, because he had absolutely denied any knowledge of or being in that WhatsApp group. What has been stated around that?
Well, essentially what you're seeing from the other witnesses that are coming through, they are understanding the instructions as that of Brigadier Magwena, because remember, these are the junior officers that would have been on the ground. Now, because of the statements that are coming through from these particular individuals, that is Chief George and the warrant officer Nkosi, about how, nonsensical, if we could put it that way, that the operation was. That is what Nkosi is basically trying to illustrate. It seems that there's more questions for Brigadier Magwena to answer with respect to this instruction. Now, when it was requested that he return this afternoon to clarify further issues, because at this point, almost every Hawks official has a different version on various aspects to this particular operation, which pretty much waters down this defense that it was simply just a verification request. It raises questions as to, was there more to this particular instruction that was given to these officials? But once the chair questioned whether he can return to clarify some issues, it became clear that Brigadier Magwena is now unsure of whether or not he is someone who is assisting the Commission or whether he is an implicated person, because of the number of contradictions he has made, specifically with his contention that he had nothing to do with the WhatsApp group. But for a number of days, we've now seen several interactions, and from the vantage point of several different witnesses, that he was very much a part of that group, and he knew at every step of the way what was going on with that particular operation. Now, the Commission is in a position where they need further evidence from him, but we don't know if it can happen at this stage with him coming voluntarily, or if the Commission will have to summon him. But for now, the Commission is focusing on that evidence of General Mboto, who would have been the person who sent the message to Brigadier Magwena to start this process of the Hawks descending on that particular operation. Over to you in studio.
Canny, thank you very much as always for indulging us. That's SABC senior reporter Canny Maphanga, who's monitoring proceedings at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.